Bored with your boring cardio? Stop pedaling that snooze cycle to nowheresville and try some cardio that's actually fun. Supernatural Fitness, available on MetaQuest. Isn't that right, Jane Fonda?
Cardio will never be boring again.
Sweat to the beat of thousands of chart-topping songs inside stunning virtual landscapes.
Bet your stationary bike can't do that.
Visit GetSupernatural.com and join the next fitness revolution. Supernatural VR Fitness, only on MetaQuest. Rated T for Teen.
This is Optimal Living Daily, a letter to joy from someone who didn't always know where to find it, by Sabrina of buddingoptimist.com. And I'm Justin Malik. Welcome back to Optimal Living Daily, or the OLD podcast, where I read to you from some of the best articles I can find and get permission from, covering personal development or self-help, minimalism, productivity, and more. So with that, let's get right to it and continue optimizing your life. A letter to joy from someone who didn't always know where to find it, by Sabrina of buddingoptimist.com. Dear Joy, this is my letter to you. I wanted to tell you about my journey in finding you. It wasn't easy, that's for sure. I took many detours along the way, but I don't regret any of the steps I took. I learned a lot of lessons that they didn't teach me in school, so it was all worth it. Hey, I'm just glad I finally know where to find you now. When I was little, I didn't know what you were. I smiled when I felt happy, like when I ate a popsicle in the summer or tried on a pretty new dress. My lips would extend from ear to ear in the shape of a half moon. My head would naturally tilt up as if an invisible hand had tugged gently on my ponytail, and my almond-shaped eyes would squint uncontrollably into two thin lines. Whenever my face changed like this, there'd be a bubbling feeling in my chest as well, like the fizz when you crack open a can of soda. Sometimes the fizz was so strong that I would burst into a fit of laughter that made my tummy hurt. Even though I couldn't put the feeling into more eloquent words than happy, I knew I liked it. Joy, for the longest time, I thought this feeling was you, just a fleeting fizz that would last a few moments, a day or two at the most. And then you would be gone until the next time we meet. You seemed to like to play hide and seek with me. And as I got older, you seemed to enjoy this game more and more. What once made my lips curl and my chest bubble with fizz no longer had the same effect on me every time. Sometimes you would arrive unexpectedly, like the time when my dad showed up at our doorsteps months after he had left my mother and I for the first time, with a big red bike for me by his side. Other times when I thought you would be there, like when I bought candies with the $10 coins my cousin and I secretly took from the money jar in our house, you stood me up. Over time, I learned where to chase that bubbly fizz. I found it in food. Greasy and salty things like chips were the best. I found it in shopping. Cosmetics of various shapes and colors were my favorite. I also found it in praises or looks of approval from others. A nod, a thumbs up, or words like, "Look how smart you are." Whenever I found this fizz in an aluminum foil bag, in another glittery lip gloss, or in someone else's acknowledgement, joy, I thought I had found you. Then there was a period of time when I couldn't find you anywhere. Nothing really did the trick anymore. And to tell you the truth, I didn't care. A big part of me believed that I didn't deserve you. Not when my life was such a mess with endless medical procedures and no promise of a cure. How could I allow myself to feel your presence when there was so much pain and disease inside my body? No, I didn't think it was possible or even right to have you in my life at a time like that. Slowly, my body recovered, but a part of me was still missing, and I realized it was you. I missed you. Again, I went to look for you in all the usual places, in the aisles of a grocery store, on the shelves of Sephora, or in the words of others. But it wasn't the same. I wasn't satisfied with a fleeting feeling of fizz that came from other things or other people anymore. I craved for something more permanent, something I could experience even if I ate nothing, bought nothing, and had nobody's approval. Something I could hold on to even if my life fell completely apart again. And I started to wonder, Joy, if you could be more than what I thought you were. I began reading books about you, books that described you in scientific terms written by experts who studied you, and books that showed you in a more personal light, written by regular people just like me. I watched interviews and listened to podcasts dedicated to you with all kinds of tips on where and how to look for you. I learned that I'd been looking for you in all the wrong places, in things and people outside of myself, when all this time you were already inside of me. And all I ever needed to find you was gratitude. Let me tell you, gratitude wasn't something I was good at. When I first learned that gratitude was the key to finding you, I had my doubts. Really, if I wake up and feel thankful for the nice weather, the smooth traffic on my way to work, or the fact that I'm still breathing, I'm going to find you? The skeptic in me raised one eyebrow, but I was eager and willing to try anything to find the real you. Although I thought it was kind of cheesy, I started to write down the good things in my life, anything and everything I could think of that I should be grateful for. The rainbow after a bout of rain, the warmth of a cinnamon bun, a good song on the radio, my friends, my family, and my love. And it worked. Not right away, of course. It took time. At first, it felt like I was trying to loosen an old faucet in my mind just to get a few drops of gratitude. But day after day, it became easier and easier until the faucet turned all the way and gratitude came pouring out. And joy? That was when I finally saw the real you. I know now that the real you is more than just a fizz in my chest that lasts for mere moments or days at best. You're not a particular feeling I can put a finger on. You're a state of being. Instead of washing over me like a sudden and swift tide that had been triggered by forces outside of my control, you're a river that flows steadily within me. I know as long as I have gratitude, you'll never run dry. You're in the sunlight that gives me awe, in the music that makes me dance, and in the love that fills my heart. You're everywhere. Joy, I've come a long way since the days when I thought I had found you at the end of a popsicle stick or in the folds of a new dress. I've grown a lot since the time when I didn't think I deserved you because my life was in pieces. I know now that you can exist even when I'm in pain. This I will remember. Before I end this letter, I wanted to tell you that I'm grateful for all the good things in my life, no matter how small or big, and not just that awkward, forced feeling of grateful like how it was at the beginning. I'm truly grateful. This is not goodbye, Joy, because I know you'll always be here with me. As long as I have gratitude, I have you. Yours always, Sabrina. You just listened to the post titled, A Letter to Joy from Someone Who Didn't Always Know Where to Find It by Sabrina of buddingoptimist.com. And I'll be right back with my commentary.
Bored with your boring cardio? Stop pedaling that snooze cycle to Nowheresville and try some cardio that's actually fun. Supernatural fitness, available on MetaQuest. Isn't that right, Jane Fonda?
Cardio will never be boring again.
Sweat to the beat of thousands of chart-topping songs inside stunning virtual landscapes.
Bet your stationary bike can't do that.
Visit GetSupernatural.com and join the next fitness revolution. Supernatural VR Fitness, only on MetaQuest. Rated T for Teen.
I know we've all been there, setting those ambitious New Year's resolutions. By mid-January, most of us have already given up. But what if I told you there's one financial resolution you could actually stick to because it happens automatically? Well, today's episode is sponsored by Acorns, and Acorns makes it easy to start automatically saving and investing so your money has a chance to grow for you, your kids, and your retirement. You don't need to be an expert. Acorns will recommend a diversified portfolio that fits you and your money goals. You don't need to be rich. Acorns lets you invest with the spare money you've got right now. I've been using Acorns for months, and it's amazing how those small automatic investments add up. Head to acorns.com/old or download the Acorns app to start saving and investing for your future today. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 1 compensation provided. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/OLD. Thank you to Sabrina, a 2-time leukemia survivor. I really enjoy the articles I narrate that are also personal stories. I think they hit a bit harder. I definitely would get stuck in this kind of thinking myself, that maybe if I get better grades, I'd be happier. Or if I had my own business, I'd be happier. And these are all external things, of course, and temporary by nature, whereas long-lasting joy and happiness have to come from the inside. It's interesting that for her, it came down to gratitude. I've gone through phases of having a gratitude practice, sometimes written, sometimes just in my head. I do think it makes a difference, especially during difficult times. We can always find something to be grateful for, even when it's the worst of times. It might not come easy, but it's there. Like Sabrina said, it gets less weird and more easy with practice. So maybe if you're not in the habit of doing it, you can think of just one thing you're grateful for right now or sometime today. And it doesn't have to be profound. It could be the device you're using to listen to this podcast. It really doesn't matter. Just take a moment to think about it. Man, that's just another step towards joy. So thanks again to Sabrina for this article, and thank you for being here every day. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.